Disney is in a downward spiral as the company is set to lose $900 million in 2023. In a year when Disney released Wish, Haunted Mansion, The Little Mermaid, Elemental, The Marvels, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and Lightyear, you would have expected them to turn a profit. Sadly, none of these films turned a profit for Disney. Despite this massive loss, not everything is doom and gloom for this media giant. While Disney movies are failing, the brand remains strong. In the fourth quarter of 2023, revenue grew 5% and 7% compared to the prior year quarter and prior year, respectively. In addition, Disney Plus added nearly 7 million core subscribers in the last 4 months. Ironically, it is the growth of Disney Plus that is adding to their box office vows. While the brand remains healthy, Disney Studios cannot afford to keep losing $900 million every year. The company is bloated, and movies remain their largest export. It was only a few years ago when every movie they released would hit the $1 billion milestone. This success, however, led to overblown budgets that made it impossible for any film to gross a profit. For Disney, in particular Marvel, the year started rough. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was released in February to mixed reviews. The film had a budget of $193.2 million. The movie grossed $476.1 million worldwide. While Quantumania had a theatrical profit of $81.9 million, it still ended in the red after post-production. The Little Mermaid was released on the 26th of May 2023. It had a budget of $265.5 million. In total, the film netted $569.6 million worldwide. The Little Mermaid could have ended with a profit if the budget was not so high. Since Disney has gotten used to movies that gross over $1 billion each, they likely expected The Little Mermaid to do the same. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny might be Disney's biggest box office disappointment. The film was released on the 30th of June 2023 and starred Harrison Ford and Lady Jones, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. It was released under the Lucasfilm banner and had a budget of $294.7 million. Out of the gates, the Indiana Jones movie had a rough time. They ended their box office run with a worldwide gross income of $357.9 million. This means that Disney lost hundreds of millions with the movie. The Marvels had an opening weekend of $46.1 million. The budget for the superhero movie was $219 million. The film is projected to bring in only $300 million. However, I predict they will end at around $500 million. No matter what, the movie will be regarded as a box office failure. Disney had high hopes for a project that starred Brie Larson, Iman Vellani, Teyonah Parris, and Samuel L. Jackson. To understand Disney's box office disasters, we must look at their biggest failures. Thus, let's return to The Little Mermaid and ask an important question. Was The Little Mermaid 2023 a success? If you ask Disney, they have the following to say on their official blog. The Little Mermaid, which also stars Javier Bardem, Dave Diggs, and Awkwafina, is also among 2023's top 10 films worldwide to date, earning $570 million at the global box office. The film was praised by audiences who gave it an A cinema score and a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Little Mermaid is a remake of the 1989 Disney animated classic. In their opening weekend, they managed to pull in $63.8 million. Disney set a high budget for the film as they had high hopes. Up until that point, they have been riding the remake high. 2019 Lion King grossed $1.66 billion and is considered the most successful animated film ever. In their opening weekend alone, they grossed an impressive $185 million. Before this, the 2016 Jungle Book remake grossed $966 million worldwide. Aladdin, starring Will Smith, had a similar success, bringing in $1.051 billion. There is a general rule of thumb in the movie business. You must multiply the film's budget by at least 2 to know the break-even point. If The Little Mermaid had a budget of $265.5 million and grossed $570 million, they barely broke even. Since we do not know their marketing cost, they likely lost a few million. Even if they failed, Disney would still be disappointed as a healthy profit would have been the target. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny might be one of recent memory's biggest box office disasters. The film had a domestic opening of $60.3 million. Indiana Jones ended with a total domestic box office total of $174.4 million. Internationally, Indiana Jones fared a bit better, grossing $209.4 million. Worldwide, they ended up with a total of $383.9 million. The worldwide total needs to be multiplied by 2 to factor in marketing and advertising. This means that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny needs almost $700 million to break even. Sadly, they fell desperately short of that target. Indiana Jones was always fighting an uphill battle. With Harrison Ford being 81, Disney was left with very few options. They could either do the classic reboot and cast a new actor to play him, or they could do a passing of the torch. Ultimately, Disney decided that the torch would be passed to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. However, fans did not take to her and decided to skip the film altogether. In addition, fans also did not like how they wrote Indiana Jones. His life has turned out depressing, and most feel he deserves better. The result was a 69% nice critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. While this is not the worst score ever, many were not interested. Out of the darkness, there was one shining light. James Gunn did what he does best and saved Disney with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The film had a star-studded cast starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Karen Gillan, Vin Diesel, and Dave Bautista. Their domestic box office was $385.9 million. Internationally, they pulled in $486.4 million. This put their worldwide box office total at $845.46 million. Not only was Guardians of the Galaxy a commercial success, but it also received critical praise. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film received a critic score of 82%. The audience score was even better, with an overall score of 94%. This, once again, proves how quality still matters. Sadly for Disney and Marvel, James Gunn left the studio and now works for rivals Warner Bros. As CEO of DC. No one ever gave this franchise a chance to succeed. They were throwaway characters and relatively unknown. However, this group of heroes became arguably the most popular among the Avengers. While I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might have been the weakest of all 3 movies, it remains excellent. There is a more significant reason why Disney movies no longer see the same success level. Over the past few years, they have been riddled with controversies. Firstly, they decided to get involved in the culture war. Mixing entertainment and politics is never a good idea. Why you would alienate half your audience, I will never know. Disney is known for pandering. They decided to stand against Governor Ron DeSantis and his "Don't Say Gay" bill. This angered many conservatives who felt that Disney, who should be neutral, took a stand against them. It is important to remember that it is not only Democrats who watch movies. Ultimately, this decision caused previous CEO Bob Chapek to lose his job. Then there is the entire "put a chick in it and make her lame and gay" controversy. Disney decided to remake all their classic movies and replace all the leads with more diverse counterparts, causing mass outrage. While I was never bothered by any level of race swapping, for many people, it felt forced and off-putting. Halle Bailey's casting for The Little Mermaid was heavily debated online. Rachel Zegler as Snow White was another point of contention. They also replaced Tinker Bell with Yara Shahidi. None of these casting choices were popular. For Disney to fix this problem, plenty of things need to happen. Quantity over quality is one of their most significant issues. The rate at which they are pushing out films is impossible to maintain. Marvel, in particular, is suffering from them. Since all of their movies follow one another, it becomes impossible to keep up. Once you have missed a few movies, fans feel there is no reason to continue and stop watching altogether. In addition, Disney Plus has become another big hindrance for the company. While streaming is the future, it also destroys their box office numbers. Fans won't go out and see a movie if they can wait and watch it online for considerably cheaper. It is undeniable that Disney Plus is a massive success. Disney Plus generated $8.4 billion in 2023. Since its inception, they have seen positive growth every year. They are also sitting on 164 million subscribers. Despite these impressive numbers, they still lose money year after year. Disney Plus lost $1.4 billion in 2022. In the most recent Q3 quarter alone, they lost $512 million. While the potential is plenty, they are facing an uphill battle. Other streaming platforms like Netflix do not have to worry about box office numbers and thus can solely focus on growing their platform. Disney is nowhere close to collapsing. However, over time, things can take a turn for the worse. Only time will tell how all of this will play out.